helpings of the Bodhichitta and the Pune in India, in every part of the world, in every way in this, the Milky Way galaxy, in every way in the entire universe. Yes, of course, your soul with love and affection to every sentient being. With this tremendous love and affection that you have, imagine that this love and affection, the intense love and affection that you feel towards all beings, invoke the Vashamon that you have to multiply infinite number of times. Share one set of Vashamon with your mother at her heart, one with your father at his heart, one with each and every one here in Bodhichitta, the star, the insects, the animals, the hungry ghosts, the spirits, the gods and goddesses, everyone. And you share one set of Vashamon with each and every one here in Pune, everyone in the entire universe. Everyone. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Don't forget that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching us right from the beginning. They're so proud of you today. They're so happy, amazing. They're so happy. Why not we invite all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness and to be the guests, to be the witness to this occasion, this ceremony, for us to undertake the spiritual Bodhisattva vow. So I suggest you make a request to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the guests and to be the witness to attain our spiritual Bodhisattva vow. Let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, along with all eternal sentient beings with you. Okay, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, those who cannot make prostrations, don't force yourself. Mentally imagine that you're making prostrations. You can bow 3 times. And while making prostrations, imagine that all sentient beings are with you. Your parents, your children, your family members, everyone is with you. They're also making prostration with you. Okay, now sit on your right knees. Okay, sit on your right knees. Whereas if you have knee problem, don't force yourself. Sit on a chair, sit in whatever position is more comfortable to you. Otherwise, those who have no problem, you sit on your right knees. And then, because this may take a little time, in the process, if you start feeling pain, then feel free to sit in the most comfortable position, because the pain should not disrupt you from taking the aspect of Bodhisattva vow. And as I said earlier, for taking the aspect of Bodhisattva vow, the only commitment that we have is that henceforth, now I've realized how finally the problem is there are 2 external factors, internal factors, and to think of always blaming external factors. External factors are there, no doubt. It's not that it's a purely internal factor. External factors are there, internal factors are there, but without the internal factors, external factors cannot do anything to disturb you. So therefore, now today, coming to the Bodhichitta Center, we are so fortunate, because of Bodhichitta Center, that we learn that the internal factors are to be taken care of, the 2 demons. That's the wisest thing to do for us to get rid of all our fears and to achieve the maximum happiness. I'm very happy to discover that. And for that matter, what I do is henceforth, by taking this aspect of Bodhisattva vow, to the best I can, I'll be kind towards others. To the best I can, I'll be helpful to others. And whereas at least I'll not harm others. So this is the commitment that we take. And okay, say if you sitting right knee is if it's difficult, don't watch too much. Say sit whichever way comfortable, right? Okay. Okay, so what we do is that we turn to page 50, page 50, and Vajra Moon. So if you don't know exactly what is Vajra, then the page 49, the new version, there's a Vajra Moon. The old version, I'm not too sure. Old version, which it may be a new edition. So Vajra Moon is there. Do you see that? Chitana, you can show this to Elaine also. Others, do you see that? Okay, so that's the Vajra Moon. So and at the base is the lotus. Lotus is just addition. Addition, the focus should be on the moon up there, moon just above the lotus, and the Vajra standing on the moon. So these are two things. And lotus is a sign of respect. Respect, that the Vajra Moon is just they are visualized, supported by the lotus. Okay, so with this, what we do is that let us wholeheartedly say the stanza, the third paragraph. The stanza is actually the verse, page 50. So that we will say 3 times. Okay, today I'll do the little bit of explanation. Reinforce the visualization of all Buddha's Bodhisattvas in front of you. So loving, so caring, so happy today. You invite them, and they are so the incredible jubilance and joy they come to, considering this as very auspicious, very important. They come to be the witness, and then reinforce the visualization of all the Dharma sentient beings, your two parents, your children, all of family members, everyone, all sentient beings living on a side with you. And then you are leading all of them to this, taking the aspect of Bodhisattva vow, and the Bodhisattvas there, watching us with incredible great attention. And the first stanza, and the meaning is that we are taking the aspect of Bodhisattva vow. For to take the aspect of Bodhisattva vow, because that this is an incredibly great journey, extremely important journey. Nobler the goal, more difficult it is to achieve. So nobler the goal, we need greater support. So the greatest of the support that we can think of in this universe is the 3 jewels. So the first line says, I'll go for refuge in the triple gem. 1. Then after taking the support of the 3 jewels, this journey of enlightenment, the road must be clear. The road is not other than your mind. So this mind must be clear of the negativities. So the best way by which to do so is by confessing the negativities, number 2. Once the road is clear, then the car should have enough fuel to travel, to move. Our mind is that car. Our mind must have the enough fuel to travel, the fuel of the merit. The best way by which to effectively accumulate merit is by rejoicing in the virtues of others. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Now the road is very clear, and the car has enough fuel. Where are you going to go? Answer is, I'll go to the destination of Buddhahood, for the benefit of all the beings. The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart, which means that I'll achieve Buddhahood. Okay, this is what we're going to say wholeheartedly 3 times. And you are leading this, and all beings are joining you through your inspiration. Okay, that's what I say. All Bodhisattvas are watching us. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. I hold the precious Buddha within my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha within my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha within my heart. Okay, the next two stanzas are the actual ceremony. The actual ceremony is the next two stanzas. We invoke all the gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We invoke, and then the two stanzas. The first stanza is pertaining to the Buddhas, and the second stanza pertaining to ourselves. So the first stanza says that how come these Buddhas, who were once as ordinary as what we are now, how come that they have become Buddhas now? How come that now they become enlightened? They are able to. One person is able to benefit innumerable billions and billions infinite beings. 2,500 years ago, Prince Siddhartha, just one prince, he became enlightened, he became Buddha, and he's able to, till now, how many people have benefited? All these, say the 2,500 years, people are continuously being benefited. When one person becomes enlightened, it's amazing. How come that he was able to achieve enlightenment? So it is for two reasons. One, initially he was driven with a very powerful motivation of bodhicitta. He generated very strong the motivation of bodhicitta. And then, number two, to materialize this aspiration of bodhicitta, he actually engaged in the bodhisattva deeds. Bodhisattva deeds, 6 perfections plus 4 perfections, making 10. Generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, and the wisdom. And then skillfulness, aspiration prayers, power, and the discriminatory wisdom. So total 6 plus 4. So then after making this very strong commitment, then the second part was that to materialize this aspiration to become Buddha, he actually engaged in the bodhisattva deeds of the 6 perfections and 4 perfections. And the second stanza says that likewise, I will also follow their footsteps. I will also generate bodhicitta for better also being very powerful motivation. Then I will also engage in the bodhisattva activities, bodhisattva deeds, 6 perfections and then 4 perfections. Okay, wholeheartedly let us say this 3 times. And again, that you are saying, you are leading this and all sentient beings are joining you. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated mana bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate mana bodhicitta, and likewise shall I choose successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated mana bodhicitta, and just as they successfully followed the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate mana bodhicitta, and likewise shall I choose successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated mana bodhicitta, and just as they successfully followed the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate mana bodhicitta, and likewise shall I choose successfully to follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, just this experience of the incredibly courageous mana bodhicitta that they have generated. Now the aspiration of bodhisattva vow that we've taken, imagine that we received it now, they are so happy, feel the tremendous joy over this, and imagine that, say, a young child, age 5, in his or her life, for the first time making a public appearance, to sing, to dance on behalf of the school, the child, and the parents, they are so excited to give a moral support to the child. The parents, they just leave aside everything, their job, everything. Then they come to as the audience. The parents are there amongst the audience there, waving their hands to you, saying that we're there, and the child made the first performance, and the parents are so proud. And this is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas today. That you made this presentation, the performance today. Since time immemorial till now, we have been only embarrassments, we have been only bad things, we have been only engaged in indulgence and so forth, with the being harming others, killing others, engaging all the 10 non-virtuous actions in the till now. And today, for the first time, we have done something so good. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they feel so proud of us. Imagine that in the school, that you as a very young child, you always say you bring embarrassment to your mother, and the mother constantly being called by the school principal that your daughter is such mischief in the school, your son is just such mischief in school, and the mother's always feeling so embarrassed to go to school. And today, the school principal is called by the school teachers. They're coming towards the mother. Again, the mother is very apprehensive. What happened? Again, what my son might have done, something negative, something wrong, mischievous. And this time is slightly different. The school principal was coming with such a courteous smile and congratulated the mother. Mother could not believe her ears. Why? And school principal conveyed that your daughter and your son, two of them, were appointed as the best students of the school for this year. The mother could not believe her ears. She is so happy. This is exactly what is happening today. Since time immemorial till now, we've been bringing only mischief, we've been only mischievous, and we've been bringing only embarrassments for all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Today, for the first time, we are bringing such a joy and pride in the minds of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They're so happy, so proud of you. And this pride and happiness that they feel today, such a jubilance that they experience today, invokes the Vajra moon at their heart in the full-fledged form to multiply infinite number of times. In barrage, this Vajra moon, infinite Vajra moon, they descend like rain shower. They descend to merge with one that you visualize in your heart. They become non-dual, inseparable, blessed, and stabilized. Likewise, the infinite Vajra moon from the house of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in barrage, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize at the heart of a mother, at the heart of a father, at the heart of each one of you, the family members, including children, at the heart of everyone here in Vajradhatu, the staff, the animals, the insects, the local spirits, the gods and goddesses, everyone in India, everyone in the entire universe. Okay, that's amazing. So, this is meaningful life. Of all the gifts that we can think of, this is the greatest gift that I can possibly think of to offer, to make to all the Dhamma sentient beings. And today you made it. And of all the offerings, this is the best offering that I can think of to offer, to make to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Today you made it. And this is the wisest way to extract the meaning of life. And today you did it. And this is all happening because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking them, let us slowly stand up, along with all Dhamma sentient beings, to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, now sit comfortably. Okay, let us turn to page 51, the new book. The old one, maybe 2 or 3 pages before that. Okay. Also, this life we are very fortunate that we able to take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So fortunate. Then what about next lives? These are the questions. So for that matter, this life is in our hand. Next life is not in hand. So we include that in the prayer. So this prayer, the first stanza from page 51, is a very powerful prayer. Let's wholeheartedly say this, that you are not separated from these two practices, the Vajramoon, the Bodhichitta and the Wisdom emptiness, even in the future life. Okay, let's say this wholeheartedly 3 times, along with all the innocent beings and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas there watching us. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to hold the true precious Bodhicittas even at the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even at the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even at the cosmic life. Okay. So the one thing that in future lifetimes, say, there are 2 things that we need to keep in mind. That is that to meet with the dharma of the Bodhicitta and the Wisdom emptiness, and to be consistent with the practice. 2 things: to meet and then be driven by this practice. 2. To meet with this dharma of for example, I would say the Tibetans, Ladakis, say the 99% of the people, they just from birth, they meet with they already met with the dharma of Bodhicitta and Wisdom emptiness. They already met. But after meeting, how many of them are consistent, how many of them are driven by that? That is not sure. They meet, but then not guaranteed, but they're driven by that. See, we talk about Bodhicitta or Wisdom emptiness, and for example, not all, but there are cases. For example, say the Tibetans, let's say Tibetans, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama gives the teachings. So the first 10 minutes, if you look at the audience, Tibetan, Chinese, Ladakis, all, right? If you look at the audience, you may get the feeling that these people, in 1 hour, they'll become enlightened. Right? So pious, His Holiness, may all beings be Buddha, may I become Buddha for the all sentient beings. First 10-20 minutes, they are like, in like 1 hour, they will become Buddhas. Right? Then after 15 minutes, His Holiness is giving His Holiness picked up the momentum of giving the teachings, emptiness, explaining emptiness, bodhicitta, all those things, and then slowly the audience relaxed. They start spreading the sweets around them, not listening to His Holiness. So this is where, right? They met with the dharma, they are not driven by this. This is what I meant. Whereas, right, people like you met the dharma not at time of birth, right? Sometimes later you met. Once met, you are driven by this, right? So there should be 2 factors. What makes you to meet with the dharma? What makes you to be driven by the dharma? 2. Once met, only then you will be driven. What makes you to meet with the dharma is with the prayers. Very strong prayers will connect you with the dharma. Once connected, to be driven by this is determined by the joy. Right? By the joy. If you feel the joy, you will not stop doing it. Right? Okay. So this stanza which we read just now, that is to be connected with the Dharma. Then the remaining stanza is to be driven by the Dharma. So we have to feel the joy, right? So the first stanza which we read just now, this is the one which I compiled on the basis of the Lama Tsongkhapa's prayer, which he said at the end of his commentary on Aranyakarsana's text. On that basis, he created this prayer, and the remaining prayers, they are coming from Bodhisattva Shantideva's text, in order to feel the joy. So next life, right? In the future lives, the same, says somebody talks about bodhicitta, then it's as though how you feel coming home. The moment you hear this word bodhicitta, you just feel like you're coming home, it's my home. There's a familiarity there, there's a joy there, there's an upliftment happening. What is bodhicitta? What is bodhicitta? You will not let the person go, right? The person who said bodhicitta, you just chase this person. What is bodhicitta? And then you explore the whole treasure of bodhicitta, right? And then you will go there. So this is how. That is because initially the word bodhicitta is heard, then what is happening inside? What is happening inside? Joy is coming. So this joy does not leave the person, it will continue to look for more bodhicittas. You're getting it? This joy. So the point is that this joy, we have to connect this word bodhicitta, the prayers of bodhicitta, the text of bodhicitta, wisdom and emptiness, with the joy. This is what we have to do in this life. Joy. And then this imprint, bodhicitta and the joy, this link, imprint of this link, you will carry in your future lives. So next life somebody says bodhicitta, you just feel like crying. What is this? It makes me feel like crying. It makes me feel like at home. What is that? What is the bodhicitta? You will just keep inquiring, right? Okay, this is so precious. I'm sure you have your own life experience. I have my own experience, for example. So how these two things happen. One incident and the joy. When these two are glued, so you will take the imprint of this in the future times. For example, I remember methi. What is methi? Fenugreek seed, right? Methi. Right? Don't think that I don't know this. I know this before most of you were born. I know this since I was age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why I'm saying this is that my mother used to cook potatoes with fenugreek, methi, right? And then I lost my mother when I was 5. When that was happening, that I was enjoying the potato with the methi alu methi. When I was enjoying that, I was experiencing the maximum happiness in my life. That is the time with my mother, when I was so vulnerable, right? And there's somebody who gives a life for my well-being, somebody there. So this love I was experiencing while I was eating this simple alu methi in a very remote place, very simple, overly simple, modest family, nothing really there. But whatever I was eating with a tremendous love from my mother. Okay, then I lost my mother at 5. And then this young boy ended up with the 2 other siblings, ended up in school, boarding school, and then the father busy with his small business, mother disappeared, and these 3 children, they're just there, whole year long, they're in the school. And then this young boy, this memory of Arumati disappeared. Disappeared because he was not getting it, right? And one young boy, Then after a little grown up, maybe age 8, 9, right? Once my father, I was with my father, then he made alumni. I ate this, and a very extremely profound nostalgia came in me of my mother. One, and number two, when I was 3, 4, my mother, just a very, very, very remote village, nothing to do there, right? My father was doing just very simple in the business in a very remote village. 3 children, and the mother. I remember that on the big flat of. I don't think there is a big flat today. Flat of the boulder. Because I was very young then, I was very small then. I saw that as a big flat boulder. I could still remember that. And then my mother used to sit there, and then the 3 siblings, and I was I'm the youngest, so I get the privilege of being in the center. And then she used to sing a song, a very deep folk song, village folk song, very simple song. Again, I lost my mother, and then for 3 years, about like I think 4, 5 years, 4, 5 years, I was not hearing this song anymore. Then in the school, when I was in class 3, and then the inter-class competition, song competition, the Tibetan teacher, our Tibetan teacher, he was to teach a song, and he taught that same song. The moment I heard this song, I was just taken back in time with my mother, and then I could not control my tears. So nostalgic. This song is so melodious. It's a very simple song now, but that time I see that this is the most melodious song, because melody is what? You say you sing a song and it makes the energy inside, the pleasant feeling inside flow. That is a flowing, and it literally makes me, see the cry. So why that was happening was that the memory was simply retreat, extremely, very intensely memory was retreat with my mother. So because that song, Metyalu, right? So they are glued. These two are glued with the memory of my mother. So when these two things are retrieved, when I get in contact with the song or the taste, then this memory, which was glued with this, also comes along. You getting it? So likewise in the future lifetimes. So if someone said Bodhichitta, instantly this joy will be retrieved if in this life we are able to cultivate joy associated with Bodhichitta. Okay, so the stanza which we are reading now, page 51, these stanzas are to trigger joy within us. Trigger joy within us so that in the future lifetimes, once we are connected, then we will be very strongly driven by the practice. Okay, let's wholeheartedly say this along with all devotions beings. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have blessedly seized an awakening mind in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied trace. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, by some coincidence, an awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bliss that leads to freedom from our states of birth. It is the dominant one of the mind that dispels the tolerant disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the mistakeness of the world. It is the constant butter from the churn of the middle of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence, who wish to experience the bounties of happiness. This will satisfy them with joy, and it will place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, guests at a festival of temporal and ultimate delight, may gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, dedication prayer. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of these in the prayers of the Bodhisattvas the 3 times and to the upholding of the doctrine of the scripture and insight. May I all lives through the force of this merit never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. Through my true connection is vast space that I have missed. We are welcome in the effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief living Buddha for all those whose minds visualize blinded by ignorance. Yata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyata. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswatyata. Okay. Any questions before we? Yes.
Morning when we started with the meditation part, you spoke about the subtle state, the inactive seed,
Yes.
and that subtle state turning into
Self-centered attitude.
So I want to understand that how do you identify, or why do we ignore that subtle state? How do we identify and why do we ignore that subtle state? And how that turns into self-centered attitude? Because when you're looking at a bigger picture, there could be a possibility that we miss out on that minute detail of the picture. That is probably the subtle state that we are missing out. When I think I have control over my anger, but there is a trace of anger somewhere within me, which I don't pay attention to it, which is probably that my subtle state. And how that subtle state turns into
Self-centered
attitude.
Okay. This is a very good question. Thank you. I think one, we have to do a little bit of what emptiness is. Once emptiness is done, then the question, the Needle's question about, what's the question?
What exactly are cognitive obscurations?
What exactly are the cognitive obscurations? What exactly is cognitive obscuration? So this question. Once that is done, with this question answered, then we will get things very clear, right? Okay, but this is a very serious question. So we will wait a little bit. Any more questions? Okay. Yes.
Geshe, we were discussing in our group yesterday that self-centered attitude, does it emerge from self-grasping ignorance, or is it separate from it? Because
okay,
we
this is a good question.
And also, when we say self-referential ego, so is it like a way of saying ego itself, or self-referential ego and ego are different?
Okay, this is a good question. Okay, very good questions.
Our group.
The first one is whether or not the self-centered attitude emerges out of self-grasping ignorance, right? Okay. For that matter, we need to make a distinction between the two kinds of self-centered attitude, the gross and the subtle. Gross self-centered attitude and the subtle self-centered attitude. Okay. The gross one is, I am more important than you. That is the gross one. I am more important than you, so I should cherish myself. I cherish myself. I'm more important than you. I cherish this I, which is more important than you, which is more important than others. I'm the most important one. That is the gross self-centered attitude. So this gross self-centered attitude must accompany with the self-grasping ignorance. This gross self-centered attitude must accompany with the self-grasping ignorance. Meaning that self-centered attitude is not self-grasping, but accompanied with. Okay, when the mother and the child goes together, the child is accompanied by the mother, but the child is not mother, right? Okay. Likewise, the gross self-centered attitude must be accompanied by self-grasping ignorance. Okay, this is the gross one, which which says that I am more important than you, right? Then number two, this gross one, because that it accompanies with self-grasping ignorance, even the arhats, they're already abandoned. They don't have the gross self-centered attitude. They do have self-centered attitude, but they don't have the gross self-centered attitude. Arhats. Arhats meaning the Shravaka arhats and Pratikbuddha arhats. Okay, how many of you are aware with the Shravaka and Pratikbuddha? Raise hands. Who are not aware with this? Shravaka and Pratikbuddhas. Okay, so we have to know this. So basically the idea is that people who seek personal liberation and people who seek Buddhahood for all beings, enlightenment for all beings, and people who seek enlightenment for oneself. Those people who seek the enlightenment of oneself, and their goal is personal liberation. For those who seek liberation for all beings, their goal is
Nirvana. No, personal.
those who seek liberation for all beings, their goal is Buddhahood. Very good. Buddhahood. Those who seek liberation for oneself, their goal is personal nirvana. Personal liberation, personal nirvana. So those who seek personal liberation, we see that they are further of two kinds. One is known as Shravaka, other one is known as Pratikbuddha. Shravaka in English is translated as hearers. Hearers, those who hear. Hearers.
In the prayer in the morning,
Yes, yes, hearers, referring to the Shravakas. Why the Shravakas are known as hearers? Hearers. Because they hear from the Buddha about the Bodhisattva teachings, Mana teachings, but they don't practice. They hear, and if somebody comes to, oh, what is the Mana teaching? They will teach. They will teach. This is what I learned from the Buddha, but they practice only personal liberation. They don't practice Mana teachings. They hear, they pass it down. Finish. So these are known as Shravakas. Now the other category is Pratik Buddhas. Pratik Buddhas meaning the personal, how is that translated in English? The self-realizers. Solitary realizers or self-realizers. So why they are known as self-realizers or solitary realizers is because that because
they don't hear any teachings from Buddha, they do it themselves.
Okay, they don't hear teachings from Buddha, they do it themselves. Partly correct. Anyone else?
Also, they don't want to share the experience.
No, they do share. Okay.
They practice in solitude.
They practice solitude, greatly correct. Greatly correct. Okay. That's not really too good to say. Okay, but we have to know that. They say if they sense that in his or her next birth he or she is going to become, he or she is going to achieve the enlightenment of Pratik Buddha in the next life, then before they die, they say 3 prayers. They say 3 prayers. Who they? Pratik Buddhas. Prati is solitary, self, alone, prati, individual, liberation. Buddha is awakening, individual liberation. That in my last life, may I achieve enlightenment or liberation by myself, not dependence on the Buddha. In my last life, this is what they pray. 1. Number 2 is that quite scary. They say that they be born in a place where there is no Buddhas. This is their prayer. Because the Buddhas work for all beings. So Buddha will say, hey, don't sit there, come. Right? Then they are disturbed. Right? They don't want to disturb them. So they pray that they be born in a place where the Buddha is not there. 1. Number 2, where they are born in a place, it's the next life, they be able to achieve the enlightenment on his own or on her own, without dependence. Buddha, number 2. And number 3, that if people come to request for teachings, may I be able to give teachings without me having to speak. Right? Without me having to speak. To speak you have to think, right? Then you cannot meditate. So you are disturbed. Right? So they're not saying that I'm not going to teach you. I will teach, but may I be able to teach without me having to speak.
So direct transmission.
Okay, no direct transmissions. So what they do is that they bless the wind, they bless the trees around, when the trees they rattle because the wind, teachings come out. All composite things are impermanent, all contaminant things are self-nature, everything is nature of emptiness, selflessness, transcendent source, nirvana. And he or she is in meditation. You get this teaching, you leave. Right, this is their prayer, 3 prayers. You're getting it? So the difference between the Pratik Buddhas and Shravakas is in terms of goal, there's a stark contrast. Both are personal liberation, both are personal nirvana, but one is very refined and one is gross as compared to the Pratik Buddhas. Shravakas enlightenment is much gross as compared to the Pratik Buddhas because there's a difference in the 2 courses. Shravaka Buddhas, Shravakas, they achieve, if you are very smart, if somebody is very intelligent, the person can achieve Shravaka enlightenment within, say, 3 lifetimes. And the person is exceptionally gifted, can become enlightened in 2 lifetimes. Whereas for Pratik Buddha enlightenment, one has to work for 100 aeons. So, 100 aeons. This is the difference.
How much is 1 aeon? How much is
Even 1 aeon is too much. The number of lifetimes is just nothing. Within 1 aeon, it is like said that, for example, say it is said that within I think within 100 years time, then the lifespan, generally speaking, now it is degenerated time. The lifespan shortens with 1 year, within about 100 years. In 100 years, then, so from the, say, 80,000 years lifelong, from the degenerates. Now is lifespan 100 years. So from 80,000 it degenerated, keep degenerating. From 100 it will keep degenerating it down to 10 years old. 10 years. Lifespan of the person will be 10 years. It will keep degenerating. 10 years. And then from 10 years again it will keep increasing. 20, 100, 1,000 till the 80,000 will go. Right? So this range, degeneration and increase from 80,000 down to 10 to 80,000, this is like 1 year. Very long. Right?
Approximately 160,000.
So basically, this is, and then for the Pratik Buddhas, they have, they spend like 100, they have to accumulate merit for 100 times the duration, aeons. Whereas for the Shravakas, if you're very intelligent, 3 lifetimes. If you're exceptionally intelligent, 2 lifetimes you achieve enlightenment. Okay, don't ask me the Bodhisattvas. 3 countless, not just 100 eons, 3 countless eons. But don't worry. But don't worry. So say which is happier, 1 day Christmas or 10 days Christmas? Which is happier?
1 day.
Okay, 1 day Diwali or 10 day Diwali?
1 day. Yes.
Okay, too much pollution. If no pollution, if you're all 5 years old? 10 days. So happier, more duration is better, right? So for the Bodhisattvas, following the path, Gadeka is very happy moment. So therefore 100,000, the 3 counts eons is even a great boost, in a great, what do you call it, bonus for them. But a joy that this happiness, I have that long happiness, right? Okay. Any more questions? Answered? Not answered. Hey, your question. Self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance. Right? Okay, self-centered attitude, there are two. Self-centered attitude, two. So we were explaining the arhats, meaning the Shravaka arhats and Buddha arhats, they already get rid of they have no self-grasping ignorance, they already ban self-grasping ignorance, they do have the self-centered attitude. Within self-centered attitude, there are two, gross and the subtle. So they don't have the gross one, they still have the subtle one, subtle self-centered attitude. Next question would be, what is subtle self-centered attitude? What's the gross self-centered attitude? That I am more important than you, that I'm the most important one. This is known as the gross self-centered attitude. What is the subtle self-centered attitude? This question. Okay, this is very important. Subtle self-centered attitude is, I am important. I'm not saying that I'm more important than, but I said, okay, it's not finished. I am important. Okay, are you important or not?
Yes.
Okay. And the Bodhisattvas, do they have the feeling that I'm important?
No. Yes.
They don't have.
No. Yes.
They are important, right? So they know that they're important. This is valid mind. Right? They know that they're important. Do you agree with me or not? Okay. So simply by thinking that I am important, this is not self-centered attitude. Self-centered attitude, I am important and being oblivious to others. So how? Somebody asks the group here, who's important? Then the answer given is, I'm important. Again the next, who's important? Again say, I'm important. Every time I say I'm important, right? Everyone is important, but I never said any others are important. I said I'm important, I'm important, I'm important. So what's the problem with this? There are two persons, right? One say, I'm the most important one. Other one said, I'm important. Which is better? I'm important. This is better than the one who said I'm most important, right? So I'm the most important, that is gross self-centered attitude. But the one who said I'm important, every time the person comes, Nida comes and asks who's important, I say I'm important. I'm important. Every time the reference is made to the self, I'm important, I'm important. So there's one problem. What's this problem?
He's not saying that everyone plus me is important.
Okay, so the the attention is fully on the self, not at all on others. That is known as sense of importance, self-importance, by being oblivious to others. Oblivious meaning? Not aware of other people. You getting it? So the whole concentration is on the self. I'm important, sense of importance of the self by being oblivious to others. Sense of importance to the self by being oblivious to the others. So this one and the attitude which says I am more important than others. These two we have to make distinction. So the I'm more important than others, that is the gross self-centered attitude. And I'm important by being oblivious to others, that is subtle self-centered attitude. This is what is present with the Shravakas. Shravakas and Pali Buddhas. Right? Okay, for the Bodhisattvas, not only the gross, the subtle one is also their enemies. Self-centered attitude, the subtle one is also the Bodhisattvas' enemies. But this is very difficult to be abandoned. So for that matter, the Bodhisattvas, among the same, this self-centered attitude, we can speak about the manifest version. For example, what Vipinji asked this morning, about the anger. Say when you are here and when you are here in the Vajradhatu center, right? Your mind is very calm, peaceful. A long time ago, anger somewhere disappeared, right? Anger is not there. Then going back home, again situation arises, anger comes back. Right? So there, see, while in Vajradhatu center, the anger is not in a manifest state. It is in the
Dormant.
In a dormant state, in the form of a seed. In the form of a seed. Whereas when you come out, when you go away from Vajradhara, then it can manifest we can come out in the manifest form of anger. You getting it? So, I'll say likewise self-centered attitude, the subtle one. Self-centered attitude, the manifest and the seed too. Manifest version and the seed version too. Right? Say the bodhisattvas, for them, self-centered attitude, whether it's the gross or the subtle, both are their enemies. They see this self-centered attitude is the enemy. For them, the job is to embrace all sentient beings. Now, self-centered attitude, while this is the enemy, so they are always being careful to make sure that get rid of this self-centered attitude. Yet, bodhisattvas, for the bodhisattvas, what really scares them is that if the self-centered attitude comes to me, that is very scary for them. If the self-centered attitude, whether the gross or the subtle, if that arises in me, that is very scary. That is what I'm afraid of. I'm scared of that. I must do away with this. So that the bodhisattvas, their sense of confidence. Okay, now self-centered attitude will never arise in me in a manifest form. Right? So this confidence comes to the bodhisattva depending on the sharpness of the faculties. Sharpness. Say the very sharp faculty bodhisattvas, when they reach the gate, parasamgate, bodhisattva 5 levels, also 5 levels, when they reach the second level, gate, second level, part of preparation. What's the first one? First gate is part of
accumulation.
Okay, we have to know all these 5 parts. So this gate, although it says go beyond, go utterly beyond and establish enlightenment, but these 5, they are not just go, they have a very significant implications and meanings there. The first one is part of accumulation. Second one is part of preparation. Third one is part of seeing. And the fourth one is part of meditation. And the fifth one is part of no more learning. Okay, this we have to learn. We'll do it again. Part of accumulation, part of preparation, part of seeing, part of meditation, part of no more learning. Okay, accumulation, preparation, seeing, meditation, no more learning. Right? Okay. So these 5 parts. These 5 parts are indicated by the gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhi, swaha. Okay, this is what we need to know. So with this, okay, bodhisattvas, the sharp faculty bodhisattvas, when they reach the second part of accumulation, part of preparation, part of seeing, part of meditation, part of no more learning.
So sattva exactly.
Sattva. Okay, bodhisattva. Bodhi means awakening. Sattva means the courageous one, heroic one. The courageous one, the hero or the courageous one who dares to seek full awakening, full Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Bodhisattva. Somebody who's courageous to seek Bodhi for the benefit of all beings. Bodhisattva. Okay, good. Now, the sharp faculty bodhisattvas, the sharpest ones, when there is the second part, second gade, which is part of preparation. When they reach the part of preparation, then they get this confidence that, okay, henceforth, self-centered attitude, whether gross or the subtle, both will not manifest. Imprints are still there, but the manifest version will not arise anymore. So this is the confidence that they get. This is known as the sign of non-reversal of the path. the sign meaning indications. Indications of the non-reversal. Non-reversal meaning that you don't come back, you don't fall back. You achieve the path, and then from there, guaranteed now, I could see that there are obvious signs. From there, I get guaranteed that I will keep going. Gade, gade, para gade, para sambade, bodhi. So I'll never fall back. So this is known as the signs of non-reversal. Signs of non-reversal. Signs of non-reversal of the paths. Now, bodhisattva of the mediocre faculty. Mediocre faculty, when there is the path of seeing. When there is the path of seeing, they get these signs. They get these signs that, okay, now I'm not the self-centered attitude, whatever, gross subtle, will ever manifest in me. They will never manifest in me. So when there is path of seeing, the bodhisattva of the mediocre faculty. Then the bodhisattva of the least faculty, least sharp, or the least intelligent bodhisattvas, when there is the Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasangade. Parasangade, within Parasangade, there are 10 bhumis. Parasangade, what path is that? Path of meditation. Path of meditation again we split there into 10 divisions, known as the 10 bhumis. 10 bhumis or the 10 grounds. And some translators translate this as 10 levels. 10 bodhisattva levels, 10 bodhisattva bhumis, or 10 bodhisattva grounds. So, of the 10, the least intelligent bodhisattvas, they will gain this non-reversal signs, or they will gain this confidence when there is the 8th bhumi. The Parasangade, path of, what is that? Parasangade?
Path of meditation.
Path of meditation. Path of meditation, within that, the 8th bhumi. When there is the 8th bhumi, then they achieve that the confidence that, okay, henceforth, now the self-centered attitude will not arise in me, not the whatever. This is known as the non-reversal signs. They will get this non-reversal sign at that level. Okay. Then for the non-reversal signs, there are very interesting signs. The indications, it says that their body never smells, their body never decays, and the extremely auspicious signs are there with the bodies. With the bodies, with the mind, and the visions, and so forth. Okay, so now the self-centered attitude, we see that there are two kinds of gross and subtle. The gross one is the one which thinks I am more important than others, and the subtle one is, of course I'm not more important, but I'm important by being oblivious to others. That is the subtle self-centered attitude. Whereas for the bodhisattvas, both the self-centered attitude, these are considered as the what? Poisons or enemies. Whereas the Shravakas and Prati Buddhas, they don't have the gross self-centered attitude, but they still have the subtle self-centered attitude. You getting it? Okay.
Geshe, so the question, of course, was that is the attitude coming from self-grasping ignorance itself?
Now you have to decide. I already explained what these two are and who have them, who don't have them. I will also explain that. So the gross one, who has the gross one? Who has the gross one? Arhat. Wow, amazing. I just said Arhats don't have the gross one, they still have the subtle. I said it so many times, and finally, again you ask who's wrong. After telling all the stories, who's the wrong finally? Okay, so who has this gross self-centered attitude? Huh? Us. All the, let's say the samsaric beings. The samsaric beings have this gross self-centered attitude. Very good. Okay. So samsaric beings have the self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude. Yes. So these two, it's not that one emerged from the other, but these two are like very close friends, equal on the equal status. On the equal status, they're very close friends. It's not that one is supported by, one is made as this one emerges out of the other. No, both are there equally on equal status. Now the subtle one, who has the subtle one? Arahats have the subtle one, they don't have the gross one. So which means the subtle one, for no doubt, it does not require this self-grasping ignorance. Arahats, they already abandoned the self-grasping ignorance. They don't have self-grasping ignorance. They still have the self-centered attitude. Now what we have to learn is that how the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, what are the two functions? The functions you vaguely know now. How these two work in hand to trigger all the afflictions, attachment, anger, jealousy, all these things are triggered by these two in combinations. Simply by self-centered attitude cannot give rise to the afflictions. Simply by self-grasping ignorance also does not give rise to the gross afflictions. But the gross afflictions are given rise to when these two come together, only then. For example, the matchstick and the matchbox surface, only when these two come together, then the fire, the spark comes into being. Two things are required. Likewise, self-grasping and self-centered attitude, these must work hand in hand. Only then the gross afflictions will arise. Okay. So then your question is done?
No.
What question was?
How to quell the contaminated karmas? 4 parts to
Okay.
quell the contaminated karmas.
Okay, that will do later, right? Okay, yes, Rahul?
Even after one realizes that there is no objective self, is it still possible to have self-centered attitude?
Okay, the question is, did you follow the question? Did you follow the question? No. Question is, say it again.
Even after one realizes that
there is no objective self.
Is it still possible to have self-centered attitude?
Is there possibility that still the self-centered attitude can arise? This question. Yes, no.
Yes,
You have subjective self,
Uh,
is that right? Is there something like a subjective self?
yes, the
Then-
subjective self is there.
Then you can have self-centered attitude.
So which means the Buddha also has self-centered attitude.
Right.
Buddha also has the subjective self, right? All beings have the subjective self. Objective self is not there, but the subjective self is there. So even the
You
Buddha,
don't have to have self-centered attitude.
they need not have. So the question is that once you realize the emptiness of the objective existence of the self, in that person, does the self-centered attitude arise?
May or may not.
Okay, may or may not. So may.
Yeah, may.
It may.
Yeah.
Okay, can you give me some examples?
For arhats, the subtle self-centered attitude will
Okay,
be there.
for the arahats, they have already seen the emptiness of objective existence of the self. They do not have the gross self-centered attitude, but they still have the self-centered attitude. One example, there are many more examples. Is there anyone who likes to give other examples where somebody has realized the emptiness of objective existence of the self? Or in other words, somebody has realized emptiness, still having self-centered attitude. What other examples do you have?
When Buddha was enlightened, and
Yes.
the historical Buddha,
Yes.
he was living, so there was a functional self, like
Self is there, self-centered
but
attitude is not there.
self-centered attitude is
So the
not
question is, if you realize the emptiness of the self, can the self-centered attitude still arise in that person? This is the question. Anyone? So one example is what Dorji gave, that say for the arhats, they've already realized the emptiness of the objective existence self, and they still have the subtle self-centered attitude. This is one answer. Now my question to you is in line with what the Rahul asked. My question is, somebody who realized the emptiness of the objective self, can the self, the gross self-centered attitude arise?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay. Be louder.
No.
Okay. Not only just be loud. Raise your hands high.
Could you repeat
The moment you raise your hands high, you will have to go to penalty.
Could you repeat the question?
My question is, if somebody realizes the emptiness of objective self, can the gross self-centered attitude arise in that person?
No.
Huh? Those who said no, raise your hands. You have to go to the manual work. Punishment. Okay, this punishment. I said punishment. Still, you are raising hands. Punishment means it's wrong, right? Okay. So Anyone has the answer?
Because if there is no objective existence of self,
No, can you give me an example? Example of somebody who has already realized the emptiness of objective self and still has the gross self-centered attitude.
How can he?
Is it like an imprint?
No, just give me an example, concrete example. This person, that person.
It can't be.
Huh?
But it cannot
No. Those who say it can't be, they will have to go for manual work. Pratika Buddha? No, they don't have gross self-centered attitude. Gross one accompanies with the self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance they already got rid of, right? Okay. So what about the Shravaka who are still following the Gati, Paragati level? Shravaka and Pratik Buddha who are following the Paragati level. What is the Paragati level? Path of seeing. Shravaka and Pratik Buddha who are following the path of seeing, who are following the path of meditation, right? Do they realize the emptiness of objective existence? No? Yes? Yes. Path of seeing means they see the emptiness of objective existence directly, right? This is the very meaning of the path of seeing. Do they still have the self-grasping? Do they still have the gross self-centered attitude?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, they are subtle.
Arhats, Shravaka Arhats, who are in the Bodhisattva level of the Arhat, Shravaka and Pratik Buddha, they don't have the gross one, but below that they still have the gross one. Yeah, you're getting it. So so when you realize the emptiness of objective existence self, it is not yet that you simultaneously have eradicated the self-grasping ignorance. You still have the self-grasping ignorance. Only when you reach Gade Bodhisattva of the Shravaka and Pratik Buddha, then self-grasping is gone. Otherwise, even before that, you directly realize the emptiness of objective existence self. Still, you have the self-grasping ignorance. You getting it? You have the self-grasping ignorance plus the gross self-centered attitude.
This realization is, momentary or a very stabilized?
Okay, this is good question. Very good question. Okay, this realization of the emptiness of objective existence, is this something momentary or something which is stabilized? Okay, Shubhangaji, tell me, what do you mean, what do you understand by stabilized?
For example, when they are in the meditative state, they might have those realizations. As they come out of the meditative states, then they have the memory of that realization. But now consciously they don't see the emptiness or anything, but still that knowledge is there.
Very good. So this is what the Shubhangaji said is like that. Say for example, right, say the, Albert Einstein, he is, somebody with the relativity theory who really, for the first time, he's the one who explained this relativity theory. And do you think that all these mathematical calculations, relativity theory, coming 24 hours? When he was eating food, when he was playing piano, right? He likes to play piano. Violin. He likes to play violin, right? When he was playing violin, all these mathematical calculations going in his mind? No, right? But his knowledge is still there. The moment he wants to teach it, automatically it comes out. Likewise, so when you realize emptiness directly, right, it's not that you're 24/7, you just have the realization constantly flowing there. No. When do you have this realization constantly coming there, 24/7 coming? For the Bodhisattvas, is when you reach the eight bhumi. Gade, parasam gade, part of meditation, eight bhumi. When they reach that moment, then 24/7. There's no moment where the Bodhisattvas, they don't realize emptiness of objective existence. When they reach that bhumi, before that is on and off, but the knowledge is always there. You getting it? Whereas for the Shravaka spiritual Buddhas, not necessary. They're on and off all the time. On and off, right? So the realization is there, and when they are eating food, when they are just having some casual conversation, whatever, so the realization there, but that is in the dominant state. Right? Okay, any more questions that you might have?
I have a question to Rahul's question actually. I didn't feel answered.
Yes.
Suppose if an arhat has gotten rid of self-grasping ignorance, so the I doesn't exist.
I exists. For the person, I doesn't exist objectively.
Objectively. So how does even the subtle
What is the
I am important? What is the I in I am important?
Okay, that is subjective existence. I is important.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Nita?
Yesterday we heard you say that afflictions arise only if self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude come together.
Yes.
And in the absence of any one of this, there's no affliction.
There is no gross affliction.
No gross. Subtle afflictions will...
Self-grasping ignorance itself is affliction. Self-centered attitude is not affliction. Self-centered attitude is not affliction. Self-grasping ignorance is affliction. Self-centered attitude is present in the arhats. Arhats don't have afflictions, they already got rid of afflictions. So what they have is not affliction. So they have self-centered attitude and it is not affliction. So we have to make distinction between self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude, and these two act together, then what arises?
Spark.
What arises? Self-grasping, self-centered, when these two come together, then what arises?
Afflictions.
Not just afflictions.
Gross level affliction.
Gross afflictions arise. You're getting it? Gross afflictions arise. Okay. So we should not get the impression that the self-grasping ignorance is not affliction, it is affliction. It is the king of the affliction. Right? King of the affliction. Okay.
What is that word self-grasping?
Okay, this is a good question. Thank you so much. What is this word? Self-grasping. You getting it? Okay, very good. Where to do it? Okay, let's say. Okay, what am I doing?
Grabbing mala.
Grasping the mala. Right? So, what am I doing? Grasping the self. Grasping the self. Right? And then, if I see, they say, okay, let's say the monkey, when they look at the mirror, they see the image and they try to grab at it, right? They try to grasp at their own image. Okay, so why? Because the monkey sees that as objectively real, something solidly there. They want to grab at it, right? So the thing is that when you see things in the dream, say, by the way, okay, how keen you are One cheesecake? The cheesecake? No. Okay, what is your favorite cake? Chocolate truffle. Truffle. Chocolate truffle, is that a cake? Huh? Okay, let's say, I don't know.
Cheesecake, let's say cheese. I have sort of cheesecake.
He is so kind, right? To make things, to make
I
things
know
happy.
because you like it, that's why.
No, I don't like it. No. I always say I like it. I always say this. I always qualify that by saying, say I like it. Say means? Suppose. Yeah. So in Singapore, I think this time, I just get the example of I say I like chocolate cake, and people bring whole chocolate cake. they forgot this word, say. They did not hear this word, say, and they thought he likes it. Then people, 2 or 3 people, they brought the big cheesecake full. How can I eat it? Even if I like it, how can I eat it? Okay.
It's not possible to bring anything so far.
That is a great blessing. Otherwise, right, I will have blood pressure problem. Yeah. Okay. So they say the chocolate truffle, right? Truffle. Chocolate truffle cake. Okay, let's say chocolate truffle cake, right? In your dream. Say you do not have the chocolate truffle cake in your dream. You do not have the chocolate truffle cake for the last 10 years. And then you dreamt of your mother on your birthday, she's bringing this. How happy are you?
Very happy.
With your mother, particularly, you grab at the chocolate, right? You grab the cake. You grab at it. So you go to grasp at the dream cake. Grasp at dream cake. The moment you wake up, you will release it. Why? There's nothing to be grasped. Why in the dream you went to grasp at it? Because I saw that as objectively real. Right? So when you say objectively real, then we tend to grasp at it. So the thing is self-grasping ignorance. So that is ignorance. Ignorance and grasping something. Grasping what? Objectively existent entity. So entity is also referred to as self. Self is not always with a person. Because we say, oh, this flower is red from its own itself. The flower is red from its own self. We use the word self for the flower. Right? Flower is beautiful itself. Flower itself is beautiful. Itself. So the self is a word that we use for entities. So, grasping self, grasping ignorance which grasp at things or entities to be existing as objective self, objective entity. Self-grasping ignorance. Okay. Any more questions?
Sometimes self-cherishing is a term that is used.
Self-cherishing, self-centered attitude, same. Self-grasping is different. Self-centered attitude, self-cherishing, these two are, you can use these two as these synonymously.
And sometimes we come across words like stream enterer.
Okay, that will come later. Not really come later. If you're interested, we can do this. This is a very different topic.
Okay.
We can do it, it will not take much time.
I mean, it has nothing to do with what...
Nothing to do with it, don't worry. Right? If you want to know this, it will not take much time. We can do it. It will not take too long time. It's very easy. Stream enterer, once returner, no more returner, arahat, there are 4. Right? Yes.
Are there some living examples of people who are experiencing this eighth movement?
Okay. So Sumit doesn't know me. It doesn't mean that I'm the one. This is not what I meant. You do not know me means that my style is I always give the general presentation I don't specify who, right? Individuals, I don't touch, that is not my business. The moment I go into this, I'll end up in a problem, right?
But are there?
If you say are there, my answer is 100% positive. 100% positive. But if you ask me who, I will not say. It's not because I know I don't want to say, I don't know who they are.
What's the question?
Okay.
He was in that chocolate
Narimanji, the question is, we speak about the bodhisattvas on the 8th bhumi, bodhisattvas on the path of seeing. Very high level bodhisattvas, we are talking about these beings. Sumit is asking whether I know that such bodhisattvas exist.
Okay.
My answer is yes. But whether I know who these bodhisattvas are, I have no clue. Individually, I have no clue. Right? But whether or not they exist, guaranteed. Although I cannot pinpoint, for example, from distance, I can say that that is Mount Everest. Although I'm not there, still from distance, I can say that that is Mount Everest. Right? I can pinpoint to Mount Everest, but are you in Mount Everest? I'm not there. You're getting it? Likewise, from what we studied, from how the mind works, from there we can see the state of the perfect purity that can be inferred. If the perfect purity is there, imperfect purity, imperfect state like us is there. From there, it's not from the Gate Bodhiswaha. It's a process. So one of the processes is known as 8 bhumi.
There is only one question.
Yes.
If we think about arhats, when they see so many sentient beings suffering, how can they
Relax.
and
Okay, this is a good question. In fact, okay, what I would say is that this is one of the unique characteristics of the Buddhas, unique qualities of Buddha, which is mentioned as Buddha having the capacity to discreetly see the propensities, temperaments, innumerable propensities, innumerable temperaments, innumerable predispositions of the minds. So where, say, if somebody is, say for example, say into a Dharma center, right? And then even the teacher or the whoever does not give any responsibilities to that person. Always study, meditate, study. Never learn how to take the responsibilities, right? And never seen outside sufferings. Right? See your own suffering, see little suffering of the people around, you help, their suffering's over. So this is how. So meanwhile, imprint is being laid. Imprint of only to see things inside, right? The other things, the mind is not at all going out. It's always staying inside. So if you build this kind of mental temperament or mental tendencies, 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives, then the 4th, 5th life, when you go out, when you see other beings suffering, still the sense of taking the responsibility does not happen. So this is the problem. 1. Then number 2 is that some people, it is the example given in some of the texts. There are some people when they see somebody, say the fallen, and some body cut, and the blood comes out, they see that, and then they themselves, become hysterical. And some people, their own blood, they see the cut and these things, they become even more courageous. Right? So this is the different mental propensities and different mental dispositions. So those people who are really scared, easily overwhelmed by the personal problems, they are directed towards the Pratik Buddha and the Shravaka path. Those who see one's own problem, and if this is what is happening to me, then all the sentient beings, they are suffering even more. So I have no time to waste to think about myself. I must will for all others. So that is the Bodhisattvas. So it is very important for us to, in this life, try to learn how to take some responsibilities. For example, like say the Rahul Indraji, what they are doing, taking the responsibility. Taking the responsibility. For example, the Bodhichitta taking the responsibility to give food for us. Taking some responsibilities. That is so important. These are the imprints they are planting for us to follow the Bodhisattva path. So in our own capacities, say it is not necessary that, okay, now this is one thing that I learned, I have to take responsibility. Now I have to also start a center. Right? This is not a connotation. In your own capacities. In your own capacity, for example, you are in a workplace, and then say if you have little spare time, you see around some small street children or families who are a little poor, humble families, their children are lying there and they're not getting any education, wasting their time. Then once in a week, twice a week, you put them together, give some chocolates, right? Then teach them some ABC, simple mathematics. So this is, say, you are taking responsibility, right? And then when you actually somebody says, you're doing such a good thing, you have this capacity to administer, it's amazing. Why don't you come to take the administration responsibility in our institute? Take this responsibility, right? So meanwhile, you have to look to the complications. The bigger the responsibilities, more the complications are there. More the complications are there, don't be afraid. Right? Simply because of complications, you run away, we will never achieve Buddhahood. Find what you want. You want infinite happiness or 10% happiness? Infinite happiness. If the infinite happiness is what we want, we have to be ready to face the challenges of life. Right? Don't simply pull back because this is complicated. Right? Where the complication is there, see that as a challenge, see that as an opportunity for you to grow. Don't see that as the source of threat. See this opportunity to grow. It's very important. You getting it? Okay, good. Okay, now we have to go closer to us. Hey, wisdom of emptiness. We have to go closer to this wisdom. Thus far, today's 4th day. Thus far, we have laid a pretty good ground of the 4 seals. And then, from what we have learned thus far, of the 4 seals, and whatever we have learned thus far, see. Okay, from this, now I've already reached to this point. Now I have to know this. Okay, I have to already reach to point A. Now I have to I have to know the point B. What is the point B? What would that point B be for you? Did you follow what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that from 13th December till yesterday, 15th. 16. Yesterday, 16.
Today.
Okay.
15.
16.
From 13 through to 15, you have already learned something. You have already learned something. You learned up to point A. So now today, if there is something that, okay, now this is where I've reached now. Now I have to go switch from A to B. So what would that B be? Okay, Bodhichitta is one part. Then wisdom of emptiness. So up to yesterday, what we have been emphasizing so much on, say, how to get rid of the fears, with the example of dream, right? In the dream, because of ignorance, the fear arises. You wake up, then with the wisdom, the fear dissolves. All these examples are given. What exactly is this wisdom? This question. Okay, for that matter, what we have to learn is that, say, things that exist in this universe, we, the ordinary beings, we have a feeling that anything that exists should necessarily exist objectively. For example, the analogy that I gave is that, say, if I put the flower in my left hand, if I ask the ordinary person what is there, you will say there's the flower there. The moment I remove the flower, I ask the person what is there, the person will say nothing is there. While the absence of flower is there, but the ordinary people will say nothing is there. Why they don't admit the existence of the absence of the flower? Because for them to say something exists, it should be substantial. Substantial meaning something objective, tangible, solid. This is the mentality, which the legacy of our being in samsara. We are looking for always something tangible, solid, and objective. This binds us in samsara all the time. You getting it? Seeing things objectively real, tangibly real, solid real, that belief is the one. There's no external samsara there. There's no external samsara there. The fact that we see things objectively real, that itself is samsara. Don't forget it. The fact that we see things objectively real, that itself is samsara. Samsara is a prison. The moment we see things objectively real, we already create our own mental prison. We've already created our own mental prison. The moment we see things objectively real, that's the prison we have created. You're getting it? So for example, in the dream, let's say, in the dream, say that you are arrested by who? Hmm? Police. No, police people are good. Terrorists, let's say. You are arrested by terrorists and you are thrown into prison. Right? No, I'm in a prison. No, I'm in prison now. Right? And with the 10 different locks. Right? No, I cannot escape. I'm in prison. Okay, you wake up. You are freed from the prison. Even though it was locked 10 times, still you are freed. You getting it? So this prison was nothing but what your mind created. With the example, you're getting it? With the example, it was nothing but what your mind created. So how they say, in what way we create this prison? Because we dreamt of this prison, and we thought that it's real, objectively real. You're getting it? So the moment we see things objectively real, that's a prison. We already create the prison. Right? We already create the prison. So, if you still want to go into detail, somebody should be asking me later on as to how seeing things objectively real is a prison. Right? Somebody has to ask me. Yes. Who's going to ask me this question?
Mirat.
Okay. Okay, so Neeraj, you're going to ask me this question?
Yeah.
Okay. That is extremely important. There's no prison there. Right? There's no samsara there. But samsara does exist. How does it exist? Your mind created and then you are trapped there. Your mind created it and you are trapped in the samsara. Right? The moment you see reality, you are freed from samsara. You're getting it? Okay. So one example that I like to give you is that, for example, let's say that we go to Mount Kailash for a pilgrimage, and Rahulji is going to take us all to, Rahulji and Indrajit, two of them are going to take us to where do you want to take us? Mount Kailash? okay, Mount Kailash, for a pilgrimage. And then the two of them said that, okay, Mount Kailash pilgrimage plus adventure, right? Because it's a very beautiful place. It's a very holy place, plus it's a very beautiful place. The snow is meticulously so clean, so pure, right? Okay, so we are so excited. And then what happened is that, okay, same group A and group B, right? But they want us that you have to put because of the glare it can go snow blind, right? So for that matter, you have to put on the goggles, right? So the two groups, they were taken to two different shops, shop A and shop B. Shop A, the goggles are not too good, right? And shop B, the goggles are so good, high classic, right? And the group A, the goggles that you get from shop A, that is the glasses are not clean. Clean meaning is
Hazy.
It's hazy, of a very low quality. Whereas the group B, the glasses are of high quality, crystal clear, right? And then we go there, and we are all excited. We have never seen snow in our life, and we are going to see the snow for the first time, and that too, very clean, so clean snow. You go there, and group B is so excited. Wow, it's sparkling white. And group A, what is this? Very dirty, right? Very dirty. And Narimanji, he's been so kind. He said, okay, we'll start Mount Kailash cleanup project. We'll start Mount Kailash cleanup project, right? And group A said, what are you doing? No project, it's so clean, sparkling, beautiful, right? Okay, so tell me, group A, you are looking at Mount Kailash, group B, you are looking at the same Mount Kailash, or you looking at two different Mount Kailashes? You are looking at the same Mount Kailash. But group A sees this as very dirty. They think we're starting a Mount Kailash clean project. Group A sees this so pure, right? Are they looking at the same object, two different objects? Same object. Same object seen, but the way seen by group A is known as samsara. Way seen by group B is known as nirvana. It's the same object. So Nigarjuna said that samsara is nirvana, nirvana is samsara. You getting it? So there is no external object known as samsara. There is no external object known as nirvana. It's the same object, how you see it. So what makes group B see this as impure or samsara? Because of the dirty lens. Dirty lens. So we look at the same object of the world through the dirty lens of our mind. How many of the lens of our mind is dirty, and how many of us the lens of our mind is very clean? Dirty lens? Okay, so when we look at things from the dirty lens of our own mind, naturally we're going to see is very murky, dirty. That is samsara. You look at the same world through a pure mind. We see it so pure, divine. That is nirvana, right? There's no external nirvana, there's no external the samsara. So this is what we have to learn. So with this mind, now so with this what we have to know is that what we thus far said is that everything's like a dream. If you know this, the moment, say, seeing the dream is dream, seeing the dream is real. Seeing the dream is real is ignorance or wisdom? Ignorance. Seeing the dream is real is ignorance. Seeing the dream is wisdom. So seeing the dream as dream happens in the dream or outside the dream? Outside dream. So to see the dream as dream, you have to wake up. You have to come out of the dream. You have to wake up. So whereas as long as you're in the dream, you see the dream, you continue. Whether you like it or not, you see the dream as real. That is ignorance. As long as you don't wake up from the sleep of ignorance, you are continually going to be festered and tormented by the ignorance. As long as you are in a dream, in this ignorance, you're going to be affected by the ignorance. That is samsara. You lost the freedom. You getting it? Okay. For that matter, what we have to do is we have to wake up. Wake up, what's the benefit? You will see the dream as? Dream. Dream means dream is coming, that the dream is coming from your mind. So, the point is that we have to know that everything is coming from our mind. That is wisdom. So how do you know this? For that matter, let's say, emptiness per se, it is not difficult. Many people may say it's very difficult, right? Oh, it requires many years of studies, only the Geshes, Kempos, they know this, otherwise we'll know there's no chance for us. That's not true. That's not true. But, right? But the thing is that why, if it is not difficult, why we are not getting it easily? Because what's the opposite of the wisdom of emptiness? Self-grasping ignorance, right? Say, for example, if there is, say, the 20 kg of the black paint, 20 kg black paint, and there is the 1 spoon of white paint. 1 spoon of white paint, is it white or is it black?
White.
One spoon of white paint. That is black or white?
White.
Right, they're so scared of the 20 kg. So they think that's black, right? Okay, that's not black, that's white. But this white is supposed to remove the black paint. And you put it in the black paint, even this white will become black. You're getting it? So therefore the point is that why we are not really getting it, if the wisdom is not difficult, is because the black paint within us is so massive. What is that black paint? Self-grasping ignorance is so thick in our mind. Right? So because of that, what we have to do is that we have constantly tried to remove them. Very skillfully remove them. Right? Very skillfully. So one of the very skillful ways is to look for examples, more examples, more examples, how things can possibly come through. Hey, through the subjective mind, how things can possibly come into being through your mind. Right? You have to give more examples. With these more examples, then every time you give examples, you think about it. You say gate gate. Then you say the He Dharma Hetu Prabhava. You speak about everything's like a dream. Every time you say like this, what has happened is that in our mind, they are the knots. Self-grasping ignorance knots are there, and self-centered attitude knots are there. Literally, these knots are there. Literally, these knots are there. Don't forget it. The knots of self-grasping ignorance and the knots of self-centered attitude. You getting it? Literally, these knots are there. And how do you know this? For example, self-centered attitude. Self-centered attitude. Say, if you see, what will be your reaction if there is a young boy, very young boy, age 5, 6, and crying, and then fallen, and very hungry, no energy. What is your reaction? Huh? Help! You become very emotional yourself. You getting it? Okay. Now, then Nariman comes and tell you, hey, don't just be carried away by your emotion. Help the child. Give 10 rupees. Can you give 10 rupees? Not? Yes, that's easy. Right? Then Narimanji may ask that, oh, 10 rupees is nothing. You have to send the child to school. Right? Hey, the 20,000 rupees deposit for 1 year studies. Right? Can you give it? No. Say, let's say 100 rupees for a good t-shirt. Can you give 100 rupees? Good. Which is more easy? 10 rupees, 100 rupees? 10 is easy, 100 rupees. Okay, 100. Okay, 100 rupees. Okay, I'll see if I have. Yeah, 10 rupees you don't say, I will see I will have. You give it directly. And then Naramaji says that, okay, then he needs a constant milk support, to drink milk like this. He needs 1,000 rupees.
Then I'll say
He has come
I left my checkbook at home.
Then Shubhangaji may say that, Narimanji, do you have some 1,000 rupees? And I'll pay later. Later will never come. Yeah, I'll pay later, right? Okay. Then Narimanji said that the Shubhangaji, we should send him to school, right? To good school. This boy seems to be very smart. Right? Good school. So you have to spend like 2 lakhs rupees. Yes. Okay, Sureshi, shall I give that? Sureshi, yes. No problem. Keep.
But don't meet Nariman again. Don't talk to Nariman again.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that, say, then when it comes to the generosity degree of what to be generous, as it becomes more bigger and bigger in size, then what happens is that then at one point, for some people, like 100 rupees, then you will feel the knot there. For some people, 100 rupees is fine. 1,000 rupees, then you will feel the knot. Then 1 lakh rupees, you will feel, in most cases, you will feel the knot there. Right? Your mind doesn't say yes. You feel the knot. You'll feel the knot. With the 10 rupees, it's very easy. With 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, you literally feel the knot. So this knot will be untied over a practice, over a period of time. The practice over a period of time, you see that this knot, otherwise I could feel this knot earlier, now this knot is gone. Then with 5 lakh rupees, then you can feel the knot. Right? This is how we can actually feel the knot, and we can untie the knot only through practice. You getting it? Likewise, the self-grasping ignorance. You can literally feel the knot there. Right? Okay. So for that, to untangle these knots, we have to apply through various means, not just one means. One very important means is to always reflect on these points. Reflect on these points and recite these stanzas, which are very powerful stanzas on emptiness. In this book. And then not only recite but reflect on the meanings. Only when the meanings are reflected, then these untangling knots happen. Right? Okay.
Geshe, sometimes these knots are not only about money. People have demands on your energy, your time. Somebody comes and tells me a very long tale of sorrow, and you're passionate about that person, helping that person, and then it becomes a regular thing. Like again and again, people come and tell their story. So you feel very drained, or sometimes you don't have time for your own things. Then
true. So what's the question?
Then how to hurt them? By saying no.
Okay, you want to say no, actually?
Sometimes, many times I want to say no. I feel that I have heard your story. Okay, that's fine. Now, don't come almost every week or
Okay.
So, I feel very tired. I don't know whether this is the experience.
That's true. Say there are two kinds of people. One who knows that through how Sureshi is doing, the person will infer that Shubhangaji must be very kind. Right? And then goes to Shubhangaji, and then Shubhangaji helps. Listens to the story and helps. 2 times, 3 times. And the person, okay, she's the soft corner, soft spot, right? So I can exploit her. Keep going. So the person is taking advantage of your compassion. The person is abusing your compassion. Not that the person is desperate. There's another case, the person is desperate. There are 2 cases. Some, when they're very desperate, nowhere to go, may come to you 10 times, 100 times.
Yeah, especially after I retired, people think that I have all the time.
Okay. So still what I'm saying, there are 2 kinds. One who abuses your compassion, and the other who is really, really deserving too. Right? For the deserving, if you say, okay, whether you can say no, yes, that's up to you. But generally speaking, generally speaking, for the deserving, try not to say try. I'm not saying don't say. I'm saying try not to say no for the deserving. For the ones who is taking the advantage of you, you must be skilled. You must be skilled. Skillfulness is required to say no. Whereas those people who are deserving, try not to say no. Those who are deserving. Whereas, right, whether to say no or yes, even when somebody is deserving, that is not 100% determined by whether the person deserves it. It also depends on your, say, the mental state and your situation. You getting it? If your mental state is such, let's say, somebody is desperately in need of a kidney, and then say according to given situation, you are the only person whose blood matches with the person's, and your mind, even to see your own blood, it freaks you, right? And then to give a kidney is far away, right? Okay, so on such situation, and then you already came to Bodhichitta Center to learn about Bodhichitta, right? I wanted to learn about this compassion, right? If I don't do it, I'm very self-centered attitude is there. Okay, what should I do? Dilemma? The Buddha made it very clear, right? If mentally you're not prepared, don't do it. Buddha made it very clear. Mentally, if there's a tendency that you little hang on to the like this, feeling of loss, feeling of, oh no, don't do it. Don't do it, right? Although doing it is virtuous, but don't do it. The Buddha said, don't do it. So then what should I do? Because you are not ready to do it. Because you are not ready to do it, what should we be doing is practice it, make your mind reach that level where you are ready to do it. Even that will come to you. That will come to you. How? First you do that through mentally. Mentally give it. Don't physically give it. Mentally give it. You're getting it? All these, say, the methods, techniques are taught there. Okay.
You know, what I find fascinating is Buddhism. See, all the other religions, whether it was Islam, it was Christianity, it was Genghis Khan and all of that, they spread their...
By the way, Genghis Khan is no religion.
Okay.
Genghis Khan is a person.
So all these sort of dynasties expanded by force, by fighting. But Buddhism didn't have any army and it did not spread. So how, you know what I mean? I can't still understand how it spread so much.
Okay. Okay, I won't go to that extent, right? So as long as Narimanji, you're thinking like this, don't give public teachings. It can create disaster. It can create disaster. No. You are very jovial.
I don't mind.
No, you are very jovial. You are very good. But then this skillfulness is required, right? When you give public teachings, you can give discourse to individual people. Don't give public teachings, right?
Only what?
Okay. Because this can create a problem, right? So therefore, I already told Sumit, right?
Yeah.
I told Sumit that individually, this religion, if you have to say something good about religion, mention this religion, right? Christianity is good in charity, right? And the, say for example, the Hindus family values, and then the Jainism ahimsa, good things you mention these religion, bad things never mention the individual labels. Otherwise it can create problems. You're getting it?
But you got my question.
I got a question. Yeah. I got a question. Okay. Okay. So basically, the one very general answer, two answers. One is more what we call it realistic and empirical. Is that say now people deep inside they have appreciation for love and affection. Deep inside. And the Buddha, you read the biography of the Buddha, you see that the full of love and affection depicted there. One. And then people also have the cognitive side of the mind, cognitive side. They appreciate the depth of the knowledge. And in Buddhism, there's a tremendous emphasis, particularly in the minor Buddhism, from Nalanda tradition, there's a tremendous emphasis on the cognitive development. So when these two things are rendered, then automatically people feel attracted. So then people spread this to others, so that brings the popularity. This is one, this is more empirical. Then the other, which is more hidden meaning, say which the conventional people may find a little difficult to understand, is that it also depends greatly on the karmic connection of the beings. At one time, more than today, about like maybe 1,000 years ago, Buddhism, almost all over India, Tibet, China, Burma, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan,
Yeah.
Kazakhstan, all these Central Asia, everywhere, right? And then now, all these gone. In India, almost gone, right? So the point is that this is known as the people, when they don't have the karma to reap the benefit, when they don't have the karma to plant the seed to get out of the samsara, then they're not interested in what pulls them away from samsara. And so therefore, the popularity, it automatically disappears. So these things can happen. So this is more karmic. The karmic thing is which is not visible, which cannot be explained to the conventional ordinary people. But these are the two explanations.
Because Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia,
Same.
all put this.
Yeah. Okay, good. So we'll stop here. Tiyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Tiyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Dhyatam Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha